this morning feeling fine. I woke up with heaven on my mind. I woke up with joy in my soul. Fire, turn it
Okay, we're here at a really special Abilene people with the Gatlin Brothers. So we're with Rudy and Larry and Steve Gatlin. And the reason that we're doing Abilene people with the Gatlin Brothers is because you guys, 70 years ago, won a contest and were on TV on KRBC right here in Abilene, Texas. You lived in Abilene, Texas. There's your trophy.
Are you going to tell the whole story?
Yeah, I'm going to tell the whole story.
Huh?
Well,
you don't need us.
No, what are we here?
Come on. Hey, man, we can be at Armando's in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Is that camera on?
Or Perini's.
So what do you guys remember about it when you came to the TV studio? Were you nervous, or you just like already you were ace performers?
We were too young to be nervous. He didn't realize, I don't think, that there was an audience like at a concert. The lights you couldn't see. What?
You talk about the night of the contest, March 8th, 1955, Cavalcade of Talent.
We see that.
That is first award. We won the juvenile division.
It wasn't just a talent show.
Juvenile
it was a cavalcade of talent.
Cavalcade. Well, there was the Dick Edgar, blind pianist, won the year before, and he won in 55. And another pianist, Bill Self, was another piano player.
So you guys were up against a blind pianist who had won multiple times, and yet you beat him.
Well, he won the overall deal. We won the juvenile division, and there was a high school division and a college division. And he was a ACC.
You know who else played? You know who played piano also in Slim Willett's band? Buck White.
That's right.
The late great. The Whites
Just passed away.
Just passed
last month.
Oh brother, where art thou? Ricky Skaggs is married to Sharon.
And he
Sharon,
played
huh?
on.
Sharon. Buck was in there.
Played in his band.
You know who else played in his band?
Who?
You're not going to believe it, but I'm telling you, it was the front man for his band. Tommy Overstreet was on that band.
So you guys know everybody.
Well, not everybody, but
quite a few people.
Your favorite's Johnny Cash. Is that true?
Johnny Cash, green and potatoes.
Those are your answers.
Those are your three answers.
Figure out the right questions.
You can figure out the right questions.
You fill it in.
Yeah.
So okay,
who's somebody famous you never met you'd like to meet?
Well, dead or alive. I'm going Elvis Presley.
Well, probably
alive.
You
met him. Who else?
Yeah, you met him. Johnny Cash. You met him. Yeah, Chris Christopherson. You met him. Who's the favorite? Who's some of the favorites and the favorite stories that you guys were? Because to us, the non-celebrity, these are all celebrity names, right?
Right.
These are all celebrities.
Well,
but to you, they're your friends.
Dottie West brought Janice and me. I was in law school at Houston, and I left law school. I went to Vegas when a friend of mine told that the Imperials, the great gospel group, they were backup singers for Elvis.
Yeah.
Great guy. One of the guys quit, and they let me come audition. I didn't get the job, but it worked out fine. I met Dottie West.
And she said that she loved you as a songwriter, too.
Well, I was just starting to try, because all Dottie talked about was Chris, Mickey Newberry, Willie Nelson, Roger Miller, the great songwriter. Dottie was a song person. And I was trying to make up a little song using her guitar that Glenn Campbell had given her. We were in Vegas. She was singing on the Jimmy Dean show at the Landmark. The Imperials closed with Elvis on Wednesday. In Vegas, you open on Thursdays and close on Wednesday. So Elvis closed on Wednesday. The Imperials moved across the street, and Elvis was on his way flying home. And when they were taxiing out in the Lisa Marie, he said, "Hey, turn this thing around. I want to go see the Imps, the Imperials." So he came back, walked in the back of that showroom, and the place went gaga. That's too long a story. I met Dottie, and all she talked about was songs. So I wrote a song. You want to hear it? This is a good one. Like the boy who robbed the cookie jar, I ran away and hid. I don't know why, I just did. Help me, God.
That's a good, that rhymes.
Yeah, and Dottie loved that song.
She said, she said, but you look enough like Mickey Newberry, you got to be able to write a song. So that got Janice and me to Nashville. But very soon after we got there, June Carter Cash came into church service one morning, and I sang, Help Me. I'd written that by then. And I was a janitor at WLAC.
So you and Chris Christopherson had that in common, because he was a janitor.
He was a janitor. Well, I got fired, and the next day, that Sunday, Johnny Cash came to church. June wrote my name on the back of a check and started bugging Johnny about it. And Chris started bugging her too because Dottie didn't introduce me. So long story short.
Too late.
Too late, right. Because of Dottie, if it weren't for Dottie and June especially, and Johnny, I'd be a broke lawyer in Houston, because I was going to law school. I probably didn't know what to do. So those are special people to us.
Of course.
And we've met,
Well, from the artists we've met, it's incredible.
It's
we've sung for 8 of the last presidents.
Yeah.
One thing I always tell people, one of the interesting things, we met Mikhail Gorbachev. Not a lot of people have a picture with Mikhail Gorbachev.
That's right.
That's nice.
Just
incredible.
when you talk about just people that you that you know or that you've been around.
He's in our opening videos. Larry Stephen, real quick, Mikhail.
When you took your jacket off, you took your thread off.
Good Lord, Rudy.
Well, it's
Jeez,
all right.
you're acting just like you did 70 years ago.
Rudy.
First night on KRBC, Slim Willett was over there, and Rudy took his jacket off, and Slim said good night.
I already had my pants off, so I thought, well.
So when you guys would rub shoulders early on, it had to be a little off-putting. It had to be a little intimidating. It had to be.
Yeah. Well, I went from teaching school in Lubbock, Texas, after I graduated from Texas Tech, to 6 months later, sitting singing for Tammy Wynette and going downtown to the Possums place and hearing George Jones and just hanging out with people like that. That happened very quickly. I moved to Nashville in 2 days.
Well, we're
Quit
missing
my
a lot
job
of
on
good
a
stuff
Thursday.
here. We're missing good
Turn it
stuff.
on.
So talking,
So
start
how
with
did you adjust to that, coming from teaching in Lubbock to hanging out with George Jones and Tammy Wynette?
Not that we had already been on the big time stage a lot, but we'd been singing all of our life, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. But I was going to school to get a degree. This was back during the Vietnam War, and I was 1S. I was going to Vietnam had I not stayed in school,
right.
and I had to graduate.
Yeah.
And I was going to go as an officer. I wanted to graduate from school if that's what I was going to do. I graduated, and the peace treaty was signed the next month. So then I got to teach school. Larry was already in Nashville doing groundwork. He did an incredible job laying groundwork as a solo artist, but he always said, I got brothers that want to sing, and we're going to sing someday. And he was always championing us, and it just happened exactly the way it was supposed to. When I got a call, I quit school. I quit mine and my wife's job.
You were working your wife's job too?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I still do.
Man.
I still do. I have to do all the work around the house. I cook, I sew, all that
You have
stuff.
like a little apron and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want
I
to talk
see it.
about
I
that.
see it.
But anyway, that's how I got to Nashville. From a Thursday, I quit my job, moved to Dallas, moved to Nashville, and Sunday night, in 2 days, 48 hours, I was on a bus with Tammy Wynette singing backup for her with Asleep at the Wheel and Johnny Rodriguez on a 14-day tour. That's how fast it happened for me to get me to Nashville. So,
I didn't know all that.
yeah.
What was
That's
your name?
I really just made
Which
it
one
up.
are you?
So he's telling his version. What's your version? How did you get
He was already there.
already there, or did you start fast too?
Larry called and said Charlie Pride needed some backup singers. And I was substitute teaching in Odessa, Texas for $22 a day. And I was in my car going back the next day, and our sister and her husband and I teamed up to go try it for Charlie Pride. And I told Jack Johnson this story later. He kept putting us off week after week after week. And good God, Jack, come on. I got to have a job. I can't go back to Odessa. And finally, we were hanging up.
Odessa.
No, but I
Odessa?
love
Nashville.
Odessa. So he was hanging up the phone. I was hanging up the phone. He said, "Wait a minute." I said, "What?" He said, "I think Tammy's looking for some singers." That's when I called Shorty Lavender.
The short man.
Yeah, what do you want, son?
All three of you could sing really well. Could you read music and do all that? Play
Not enough to
instruments
hurt
too?
our singing.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. Those two famous songs.
I don't think you got it.
I don't think
No,
you
I
did.
don't.
Do you ever laugh when you guess?
This is funny stuff.
I do sometimes.
You just kind of paint it on. You're like a mannequin.
I don't want to have to pay you.
Yes.
That's just what I'm trying to avoid.
We're not
we
paying.
do read a little music.
So
we read
you-
music.
when you guys-
for us to
school.
shoot somebody.
You
if we have to.
guys sang a cappella to start All the Gold in California and She's a Broken Lady.
Yes.
So how did you sing harmony so tight like that? I mean, obviously you were all good at it, but did y'all grow up Church of Christ or something? Or how'd you sing
No.
a cappella?
No,
I understand.
a
I understand. I'm talking about music.
cappella.
We we're all recovering Pentecostals.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just
Okay, I'm
learned
going to
to
show you
sing.
something. I'm going to show you something.
Okay.
We haven't done this in a long time.
All
Okay. All right.
What is it?
Let's sing the first 4 bars of All the Gold. This is set. Rudy sings the high part. I sing the middle, the lead, and Steve sings all the gold. Okay. You sing lead, and I'll sing your part.
One.
All the gold. Okay. Now you sing the lead. I'll sing your. You sing.
His part.
You sing his
You
part.
got
I'll
that.
sing yours. 1. All the gold. No, you sing
Oh,
lead.
sing me
3.
sing.
All the gold. You can't tell the difference.
That'll be $3,500. $35.
Could you,
Gold.
if you were
No pun
blindfolded,
intended. That's gold.
could you
$35.
have told the difference?
No.
Let me tell you how it came about the a cappella stuff. We were doing a recording session of a song that I wrote called "Amazing What Just the Right 3 Minutes Can Do." It's one of the best songs I've ever written in my life. It started off slow and tapered off, but with the great Gordon Mote, we were in Nashville. I wanted the A section of us. One amazing, amazing, amazing. What happens to you when you find out what just the right 3 minutes can do? Okay, that's the A section. Then there's the chorus. We call the chorus what the chorus sings together. So then there was a verse. Then we wanted to do that part again because that had been, well, Gordon, I had another little verse that we were going to tag on the end of it. He said, I want to put that verse back up here for the second verse. To which Steve Gatlin said,
I don't remember.
he said, Gordon, we've had 8 #1 records. Not a one of them ever had a second verse. Nobody cares. After you hear
Plus it was too long.
all the gold,
Plus
or
the-
she's a bro.
Plus, the success we had was us singing our harmony right up front. We tried to sign our name, Broken Lady.
Well, it was genius because everybody loved it.
Yeah.
You know, so
Well,
Well, I hope that the
New.
next 2 bars you'd know that it was the Gatlin Brothers singing. That was the whole purpose.
When we
doing
talk about this, all of this that we're talking about is a God thing. We didn't plan this deal. You know, this was in God's plan and God's purview. I was in a cab on my way from a record meeting, CBS would put their artists on a little radio promotion tour. So we'd go 4 or 5 days. Michael Martin Murphy went with us, and Tammy, and a bunch of them who were on Columbia Records. I had done one of those. This was before we were all together. Probably, y'all might. Anyway, in the cab, on the way from that little Skokie, Illinois, back to O'Hare. I'm sitting in the back of the cab. And we'd had a couple little records, you know, and we were promoting maybe Sweet Becky Walker or something. I'm sitting in the back of that cab and I said, what do we need? We need something else. And divine providence, I said, what do you do that would be so? And I said, the Gatlin Brothers sing great harmony. Let's start a song with great harmony. And out of my mouth came, she's a broken lady.
Yeah, we were singing with Tammy at the time.
Waiting. The auditions are later.
we'll get back to
Okay?
you. We'll let you know.
Go out there and don't leave your name. Or leave your name and don't leave your
Do
number.
you
Or
have a
vice
trophy?
versa.
I
Do
do
you
not-
have a
I do
trophy?
not have a
Okay,
trophy.
don't have a
Well,
just
we'd like,
zip
on
it.
behalf of
Calvin
the
K.
Academy, we'd like to.
Thank you.
Wants to sing.
And I got in the plane, finished part of it on my way to Dallas, doing something with Finn Ewing, or the real Ewings of Dallas, my old friend Sam Finley Ewing, and finished it in their living room in Dallas. Went home and recorded it. And at that time, LaDonna, our sister, was singing with us. That's the only record that you think we sing? Our sister LaDonna is a singing, piano playing machine.
Wow.
But she and her husband Tim they love the church music, as we do. We're gospel singers who got a great break in country music, thank you God. But they didn't want to hang out in those bars and beer joints and casinos and stuff.
Plus, she wanted to start a family, so
And
she went home.
Yeah, went home and had kids. They went with Dallas Home
That was home.
for many years. No, LaDonna has her own.
Dallas Home and Praise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were part of that.
They were
And LaDonna
praised.
has her own speaking tour. She's an incredible public speaker and singer. Tim helps her with that. It was just God's plan. You can't plan. I wrote a song one time. I write songs. Boys, I'm sorry, but I wrote this song. I'm just one generation out of an outhouse, behind a little white house, where blue jeans, red beans, collard greens, peanut butter and jelly, and Jesus in the King James Version of a Bible made a home. Wasn't much of a house, but it was home. We're one generation. Our mother was born in a 3-room house with a privy out back. You think we could have planned that?
Yeah.
Colonel Parker couldn't have made, whatever. God made it happen and let it happen and blessed all of that. So we have to, the Bible says, God forbid that I glory except in the cross of Jesus Christ. We have to take the credit. Like they roll credits. If it's a crappy movie, they still roll the credits. And if it was a crappy acting or makeup or whatever, they roll the credits. That just means the glory goes here to God the Father. So, winning that little thing, when we could bear. Let me tell you what this boy used to do right here at KRBC TV.
No.
This is how absolutely in Rudy world he was then and is now. We'd be out there singing, and the cameraman, 20 yards from here in that studio, would roll pennies and dimes out to him.
There were quarters.
Quarters.
That's a lot of dadgum money now.
Back then.
Yeah.
They would roll them out too, and he'd go over and step on them, stop them from rolling, pick them up and come back to us. Well, all of this is live TV.
He didn't know any better.
We
He still doesn't.
didn't know enough to be afraid.
When you made it, all of a sudden, you were on a different stratosphere. What'd you think? Did you think, yeah, okay, we made it? Or did you think, yeah, I can't believe this?
Well, I never thought growing up that it would be this big. I'm not trying to brag, but I didn't realize growing up that someday we'd be a national act and
well, you had
win
your
a
own
Grammy
TV
and
show, for Pete's sake.
and have all the success that we have had. Like I say, we're very blessed, but I didn't know. I didn't know. I just knew I wanted to sing. I didn't know if that meant singing in some club somewhere or singing in church or just what dynamic that would be. I didn't realize it would be Carnegie Hall and some of the great places we've gotten a chance to sing.
Grand Ole Opry.
From
The
Carnegie
Opry.
Hall in New York City to the Great Hall of the People in Beijing, China, with the Grand Ole Opry, and every state fair, hog calling, and taffy pull in between. No, you can't plan that.
Yeah.
Many years ago, my friend Mike Campbell from Odessa, he's probably tied with the longest, except for these guys and LaDonna, who I've known more. Dwayne Allen, our dear friend with the Oak Ridge Boys. We were doing a gig somewhere. He wasn't with the Oak Ridge Boys yet. He was with a little group called the Southerners, wasn't it?
Dwayne, yes.
Okay.
Southerners.
All right. At intermission, at halftime, between the two sections, everybody go out and do 15-minute break. We went out under some pecan trees. Dwayne knows where it is. I don't. I thought it was in Arlington, Texas. He said it wasn't. We went outside and we're stomping on pecans. I was 14 and he was 19. And we talked about what our dreams were. He wanted to take James Blackwood's place in the Blackwood Brothers. And I wanted to someday take Jake Hess's place in the Statesman Quartet. We talked about our dream, and that's what it was. And that's what we are. We are lead singers for gospel groups who made it big in country, thank God, and love them and love it all. It's music. It's God's music. Friedrich Nietzsche said, without music, life would be a mistake. And some people go to church. I said this one time on a TV show, a radio show, and I got cards, and that radio station got cards and letters. Some people's church, the best they can do is some beer joint. That's the best they can do. And that's where they go and get a little peace, a little something that helps them, as Chris said, make it through the night. There's just...
Good line, Chris.
in the beer joint, that jukebox, that's their savior temporarily. And those songs and a cold beer, okay? For those of us go to the church, the Lord Christ is the Savior. People may think that's that isn't sacrilegious. That's the truth.
Yeah, that's real.
The book says, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Some old boys and girls, some of it, it's not even the jukebox. It's the refrigerator and 2 big heaping bowls of golden bean vanilla bluebell ice cream. Because that's the best they can do at that moment in time. So everybody needs to get off their high horse about all this and realize. And I think we did that. We knew where it came from. We're grateful for what it is. We're proudly, gratefully members of the Grand Ole Opry. We're in the Texas Country Music Hall of Fame. We're going to be in the Country Music Hall of Fame someday, or, you know, there ain't a dog in Georgia.
Who taught y'all that perspective? You know, because somebody handed that down to you.
Mom and Daddy
Yeah.
and our grandfather.
Yeah.
Hard work,
grandmother.
work ethic.
Yeah.
You know, the rig tomorrow night in Abilene, Texas, at Abilene Convention Center. It used to be for Dad when we were living here. It was Breckenridge or where.
What do you mean the
little
rig?
town.
Tell me what.
The rig.
20 miles out of town.
20 miles outside of town.
The work. Our
I
work.
told Daddy that one night. I said,
Our
Dad, we do
work
the
is
same
tomorrow.
thing you
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Okay.
We go pick up the crew. We pick it up on our bus. He went and got the crew and iced down the galvanized ice, 5-gallon can.
Got
his two.
G-O-T-T. Got water can.
Yeah.
Remember those?
We went to the.
Yeah.
He went to the rig. We're going to ski it in tomorrow at 3:00. That means load in, sound check.
Taking
They
stuff
skid
off the
in.
skids.
The oil field men, they'll know skid in.
Yeah, they'll know
That's when
skid.
then you put that rig up there, and hook up the Waukeshaws. We hook up our amps, get our tools,
Get on that Lee Seymour Derrick.
run a few tests, and at 8:00 or 7:00, we're going to start turning to the right. We're going to make a tower.
And somebody's going to
and
go
did
da 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 doo da 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 da.
Daddy taught us to do that.
Yeah.
Did he see y'all's success? Did he live long enough to see
they
it?
did.
Yeah.
I get confused. Was Daddy 91 and Mama 93? What did I
Daddy,
have?
Mom was 89, Dad was 93.
93. Okay. They got to see their
That's
kids
beautiful.
go from the outhouse to the White House.
That's beautiful.
You know?
Yeah.
And
I was,
for the longest, he didn't tell him when he first came to town.
first time they came to visit,
Yeah, this is a great.
I did a show, I think the night before. I got up about 11:30 and my hair was kind of like it is right now. Had on my bathrobe. I went in there and got me a cup of coffee, like I say, and he was spit and polished Marine, high and tight, And he and Mom were staying with us. I went in there and got me a cup of coffee.
Long time ago.
Reading the paper, sitting there. He said, "Son, when do you go to work?" I said, "Well, I'm a songwriter, Daddy." He said, "Well, where do you go to do that?" I said, "Well, I don't know. I may do it a little later today or something." He said, "God Almighty, son," and just kind of walked off. I was going to work with him one time in Odessa, and this is God's truth.
Yeah.
You can't make this crap up. I got up early because I was going to go run. Go to work. It was in July in Odessa. I was going to go running with Mike Campbell, that, like I say, my oldest buddy, who was the first state championship player at Permian, quarterback. And I had kind of helped him move to that. And he now the merchandise man and writes songs with the Oak Ridge Boys. I was going to go running with him, work out in summer, and it was going to be 100 by noon. So we went early. I was in there eating some cereal. So Daddy came in, and he was grousing. Oh, damn it. Like that. He was a sweet man. Just kind of an old rough and tumble Marine,
Roughneck and driller.
And I said, "What's wrong, Daddy?" He said, "Well, that damn weevil quit me. Quit on me, the weevil, the new guy on the rig." I said, "I'll go out with him." He said, "No, you ain't going." I said, "That's the reason I work hard, so you'll never have to step your foot on a drill rig floor. You ain't going." I said, "I'm going." He said, "Well, let me tell you how it's going to be." And here's what he told me. He said, "If it's broke, fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it's broke and you can't fix it, paint the
it.
son of a bitch." That's oil field. Get your hands on something. The boss, and he said, the boss didn't pay you, ain't paying you to polish that doghouse seat with your britches. Yeah. You know, the doghouse where you go to change. It was a work ethic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Ain't nobody will know how to work hard like
and mom did her part.
Absolutely.
I mean, she was a housewife, a mom for 4 kids, and also drove us around the state of Texas before he had his license. Sometimes that was from Odessa to Dallas, 360 miles on Highway 80.
She'd make sandwiches for us in
road.
Dallas, the people we stayed with. We'd sing Sunday morning and Sunday night at Oak Cliff Assembly of God. We'd leave there like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. She'd have these sandwiches made, and she would drive that 58 brown and brown Ford station wagon.
Now we got an Arrow Ford right here.
To where?
The 58
they
Ford station wagon. We got an Arrow Ford before we moved to Odessa.
We would sleep, and she would drop us off at school and hand us our sandwiches for us to go. I mean, that's a work ethic and a love that you can't. That's what our mom and daddy did. So.
So you're here for a kind of full circle in a way, you know. You're coming back where you won the contest, the cavalcade of talent. I want to tell you, as we conclude, let me tell you, there's going to be a guy at your concert tomorrow night. Just a guy, good, godly man. His name is Kevin. So Kevin's done some business with the TV station, and I was talking to him just yesterday, and I said, would you like to go hear the Gatlin Brothers? And he had a visceral reaction, an emotional reaction. He says, you don't know what the name Gatlin Brothers means to me. I said, well, tell me. He said, well, my dad listened to the Gatlin Brothers literally every song, every road trip, every day. He had to be the Gatlin Brothers' biggest fan. And I said, really? I said, well, you know, they're coming. And he wasn't even aware yet you were coming to town. So he's having this emotional reaction. And then he stops dead in his tracks. He says, when's the concert? I said, Saturday night. He says, March 8th. He says, that's the anniversary of Daddy's death.
I'll get out of here.
I said, what? He said, that's the anniversary of when my daddy died.
How many years ago?
Is he going to get to come to it?
He's going to be at your concert.
Right.
Oh, we got to meet him.
You've got to meet him. You've got to meet him.
That's a sweet story.
And it's full circle.
Yeah.
And so think of the people you've touched. You say it's a God thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, those
is there any
little
question in your mind or anybody that it is?
those little stories like that.
His dad will have the best seat in the house.
Yes, he will, and he'll be right there on stage with you. And Kevin will be beaming out there. We'll. Yeah, I don't know how we somehow or another we gotta get him, you know, to meet you.
Oh,
So
we'll take care of it. Janice met a guy at a funeral in Oklahoma. Somebody came up to the punch bowl. You know, there's always punch and chicken salad sandwiches at a Baptist funeral. A lady said, and it was our daughter-in-law's grandmother or aunt, and Josh and Tracy were living in Dubai at that time. They couldn't get home. So Janice went on our behalf to represent the family. She was at the punch bowl. Lady came up and said, did we hear that your name was Gatlin? And she said, yeah. I said, well, do you kin to the Gatlin brothers? She said, yes, I'm Larry's wife. She said, we thought you were because of Tracy Gatlin and all. Said, there's a gentleman over here who wants to tell you a story. Do you have time? Janice said, well, sure. Went over and sat down with this man, and here's the story she told. Boy, this gets me. I'm going to try to. He said, Mrs. Gatlin said, I worked for John Deere Tractors at the University of Iowa for 40 years, and said they sent me to Bulgaria back when it was behind the Iron Curtain. Sent me over there to teach those local Bulgarians how to operate John Deere tractors and maintain them and fix them and drive them and everything. He said, one day I was sitting on the park bench in Sofia, the capital, Sofia, Bulgaria. Bulgaria said, one of the local men came up to me and said, oh, sir, where did you get that book? They won't let us have books. They won't let it. Where did you get that? If you'll let me borrow it, I will bring it back. I will guard it with my life. The John Deere tractor man said, here, you can have it right now. He gave it to him. But he said, but tell me, where did you learn to speak English and read English? He said, I learned to read and speak English, listening to Gatlin Brothers records that they smuggled through the Iron Curtain and listening to Armed Forces radio. That's a God thing, pal.
Yeah.
That's not made by man. That's not planned out by. We ain't near clever enough to do that. And this gentleman, we're clever. To God be the glory. Hey, you want to hear the song we won the contest with?
Let's close with
I
it.
thought
Let's
you'd
hear
never.
it. Let's hear it.
Is that good? Is that a good key?
I want to clarify. You want me to sing with you or not? Probably not.
let's make it
Probably
clear.
not.
You
Probably
lay out
not.
a key.
I'll back off.
Is that the right key?
I'll back off.
Is that the right key?
It's a trio.
Oh, wait.
Trio.
It's a
Three. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2.
I woke up
This morning feeling fine. I woke up with heaven on my mind. I woke up with joy in my soul. 'Cause I knew my Lord had control. I knew I was walking in that light. 'Cause I've been on my knees in the night. I prayed till the Lord gave a sign. And now I'm feeling mighty fine. Mighty fine.
Not a better Abilene People episode ever than the Gatlin Brothers right here on BigCountryHomepage.com. Thank you so much, Rudy, Steve, Larry, and the legions of angels that have ushered y'all along all the years. Thank y'all. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Great job, sir.
God bless. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all are awesome.
That was great. You've done
It's
it
fun.
before.
That's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.